This is from an NLT, NET Bible, the book of First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit explicitly says that in the latter times some will depart the faith and occupy themselves with deceiving spirits and demonic teachings. I'd like to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I'd like to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. As it says, some will depart from the faith. Okay, if you're this late in the game, and if you took a bag, woe unto you. Okay, because when this thing goes down, you're gonna wish and beg for your life when this thing goes down. Okay, you're gonna wish you was never born. Okay, when this thing goes down. Okay, but for the elect, you have to, once again, like we discussed, you have to keep posture and keep your integrity. And that's even when it hurts. That's what this is all about. Okay, let's get it. And this is once again from the NET Bible. Okay, one moment. The book of Second Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. As a result, we ourselves boast about you in the churches of power for your perseverance and faith in all persecution and affliction you are enduring. Okay, so we definitely gonna have to take our share, like we discussed on multiple occasions, take our share of our persecutions and afflictions, okay? But that comes with the territory, okay? But once again, like we discussed on multiple occasions, it comes with the territory, okay? That's what this is all about, okay? It comes with the territory. Okay, moment. The book of First John chapter 2, verse 18. Children, it is a hour, and just as you heard that the Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have appeared. We know that this is the last hour. They went out from us, but they did not really belong to us, because if they had belonged to us, they would have remained with us, but they went out from us, demonstrating that all of them do not belong to us. Okay, so basically, like Paul said, false brethren. Okay, that's what this is. That's what this is all about. False brethren. Okay, heaping disciples unto themselves. Okay, let's get it. Okay, one moment. Okay, give me a second here. The book of Galatians chapter 2, verse 4. Now this matter arose because of the false brothers and false pretenders who slipped unnoticed to spy out our freedom that we have in Mashiach Yahushai to make us slaves. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, false brethren, okay, infiltrated, wanting to heap disciples unto themselves. Okay, turn to the book of Acts. You have to persevere. Okay, one moment. Give me a second here. I gotta find this scripture. The book of Acts. Turn to the book of Acts. Give me a second here. The book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 29. Know that after I have gone, fierce wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock, even from among you, your own groups will arise teaching perversions of the truth to draw disciples away after themselves. Therefore, be alert and remember that night and day for 3 years I did not stop warning you, each of you with tears. Now now I entrust you powers and to the message of his grace. This message is able to build you up and give you an inheritance among all those who are sanctified. Okay, so this thing is going down. Okay, we got false brethren. Okay, secretly rose in, crept in. Okay, false brethren crept in, infiltrated in. Okay, distorting the word of truth. Let's get it. Turn to the book of Jude. The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 4. For certain men have secretly slipped in among you, men who long ago were marked out for the combination I'm about to describe, ungodly men who have turned the grace of our power into a license for evil and who deny our only Master and Lord, Yahushua Mashiach. Okay, so these men secretly crept in, okay, among us, okay, and secretly trying to heap disciples unto themselves, okay. But our job as a hopeful elect is to keep posture and keep calling on Yahweh Shai, okay, and keep his divine name. Turn to the First Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 12. If anyone builds on the foundations with gold and silver, precious stones, wood, hay, or straw, each builder's work will be plainly seen, for the day will make it clear, because it is revealed by fire. And the fire will test what kind of work each have done. If what someone has built survive, he will receive a reward. If someone's work is burnt up, he will suffer loss himself. He will be saved, but only as through fire. Okay, so that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, okay? Seeking Yahweh Shai, calling on his divine name, okay? That's what this is all about, okay? Calling on his perfect and divine name, okay? And if your work is established, you won't suffer loss, okay? But if your work is not established, you'll suffer loss, okay? What this is about. That's what this is all about, okay? Let's move on. Let's go over here to the book of First Peter's chapter 4, verse 12. Dear friends, do not be astonished that a fiery trial is occurring among you as something that is strange were happening to you, but rejoice in the degree that you have shared in the sufferings of Mashiach, so that when his glory is revealed, you may also rejoice and be glad. If you are insulted for the name of Mashiach, you are blessed, because the Spirit of the glory, who is the Spirit of power, rests on you. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or a criminal, or as a troublemaker. Because if you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but glorify power that you have bear such a name. For it is time for judgment to begin at starting with the house of power. And if it starts with us, what will be the fate of those who are disobedient to the gospel of power? And if the righteous are barely saved, what will become of the sinner? What will become of the ungodly and the sinner? Okay, so what's that about? If the righteous are barely saved, what's that about? Okay, what's that about? Tell me what's that about. Turn to the book of 2nd Ezra. What's that about? Tell me. I want to know. If we catching this much hell, what you think is going to happen to the ungodly and the sinner? Okay, what you think is going to happen? You tell me. Okay, I'm asking you a question. You tell me, what's this about? Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thou mouth, said Yahweh, and will cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, nor the incredulity of trouble thee, that thou speak against thee. For all the unfaithfulness shall die in their unfaithfulness. Okay, so what's that about? So all the unfaithfulness will die to the unfaithfulness. You tell me what's that about, okay? I'm asking you a question, okay? When this thing goes down, how you gonna make it if you ain't calling on Yahweh, Yahweh Shai? How we, and if we catching straight hell, okay? You catching this much hell, so how are they gonna make it, okay? They're not gonna make it, okay? They're not gonna make it when this thing comes to pass. Verse 6. For the wickedness have exceeded, polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Okay, it's over for them. Okay, so if you want to get you a midnight train to Georgia, train out of here, you better be calling on the right name so you can make it out with your life. Okay, and just don't play with your life. I'm asking you. Okay, what's this about? What's this all about? Okay. First Ezra chapter 15, verse 7. Therefore say Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more in touching their wickedness, for they have profanely committed, neither have I suffered them in those things in which they have wickedly exercised themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cries unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, say Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from which they among them. Behold, my people, which is led as a flock for the slaughter, I will no longer suffer them to dwell in Egypt. Okay, so this is going down, okay? This thing is going down, okay? You gotta call on Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and of them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up against another, and the sword in their hands, with swords in their hands, okay, guns. They, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand with their power. A man shall desire to go into the city and should not be able. For because of pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses will be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, for great tribulation. So you tell me what's this about, okay, when this thing finally goes down. Turn to the book of 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Above all, understand this: in the last days, blatant scoffers will come and prepare their own evil urges, and saying, where is the promise of his return? For ever since our ancestors died, all things have continued as they were in the beginning, from the beginning of creation. For they deliberately suppressed that the fact that the word of power, the heaven existed long ago, and the earth was formed from water and out of water, and the means of water. Through these things, the world existed at the time was destroyed when it was deluged with water. But the same, word, the present heavens and earth have been reserved for fire and being kept for the judgment day, for the destruction of the ungodly. Okay, so this thing is going down, okay? This thing is going down, okay? And if you want to make it out with your life, like we discussed, you better have those names locked and sealed, okay? So you can make it out with your life, okay? And stop playing with your life, all right? When this thing comes to pass. Okay, you better call on Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes down, okay? We here, okay? We at 2 seconds. We at seconds to midnight, okay? Pre-boarding stages. That's where we at right now. Pre-boarding, okay? Boarding that train to midnight train in Georgia out of here, okay? And I don't know about you, but I want to be on a wheel inside of a wheel. This thing goes down, okay? The Bible calls them chariots, okay? I want to be on a wheel inside of a wheel. I don't know about you, okay? I don't want to play with my life. when when this thing finally goes down, okay? This thing is definitely going down. Okay, one moment. The book of Second Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But false prophets arose among the people, just as it will be false teachers among you. These false teachers will infiltrate you in the midst and destructive heresies, even to the point of denying the master who have brought them. As a result, they will begin to bring swift destruction on themselves. As many as followers with their debauchery lifestyles, because of these false teachers, the way of truth will be slandered. And in their greed, they will exploit you with deceptive words, okay? They'll exploit you. How they exploit you? Selling a Hebrew name, okay? Selling breakdowns, okay? That's how they exploit you, making merchandise out of you. Verse 4. Let's start at verse 3 once again. And in their greed, they will exploit you, and with deceptive words, they will condemn their combination pronounced long ago. It's not sitting idle by. Their destruction is not sleeping. Okay, it's not asleep. Okay, this thing is going down. Okay, so if you want to make it out with your life, like we discussed, you better have the right names, okay, so you can make it out with your life. The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 10. Let it be known to all of you and all of the people of Israel that by the name of Yahushua Mashiach the Nazarene, whom you crucified, whom power has raised from the dead, this man stands before you healthy. This Yahushua is the stone that was rejected by you, the builders, that has become the cornerstone. And there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given among people by which we must be saved. Okay, so if you don't want to play with your life, okay, and if you concerned about this thing, you better call on the names of Yahweh Shai, so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, that's what this is about, okay? Calling on his name so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down. The book of Yoel, chapter 2, verse 30. I will produce poorness both in the sky and on the earth, blood, fire, and columns of smoke. The sunlight will be turned into darkness, and the moon of the color of blood before the day of Yahweh comes, that great and terrible day. It will so happen that everyone who calls on the name, okay, everyone who calls on the name, once again, everyone who calls on the name of Yahweh will be delivered. For on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there will be those who survive, just as Yahweh has promised. The remnant will be those whom Yahweh will call. Okay, so you better have those names fixed in you. Okay, so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes to pass. That's what this is all about. Okay, what's this about? Okay, tell me what this is all about. If the righteous barely be saved, what about the ungodly and the sinner? Okay. The book of Sirach, chapter 16, verse 11. And if there be one stiff neck among the people, it is a marvel that he escape unpunished. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure. For this mercy is great, so it his correction also. He judges a man according to what his works. The sinner shall not escape with his spoil, and the patient of the godly shall not be frustrated. Okay. The book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Okay, he keepeth them for the mighty day of their punishment. That's what this is about. That's what this is all about. You want to know what this is about? That's what this is all about. The book of Second Peter, we'll start at verse 8. The book of Second Peter, chapter 2, verse 8. For while he lived among them day after day, righteous man, and was tormented in his righteous soul by the lawless deeds he saw and heard. If so, then Yahweh knows how to rescue the godly from their trials and to reserve the unrighteous for punishment and the day of judgment. Okay, so Yahweh knows how to, on the left hand side, reserve the unrighteous for the punishment, and on the right hand side, deliver us from these set tribulations. Okay, Yahweh Shai knows how to do all these things. Okay, it's up to us to keep our integrity and keep on calling on the names of Yahweh Shai, so we can make it out with our life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, one moment. The book of Psalms, chapter 26, verse 1. Vindicate me, O Yahweh, for I have integrity, and I trust in Yahweh without wavering. Examine me, Yahweh, and test me. Evaluate my inner thoughts and motives. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 3. Trust in Yahweh and do what is right. Settle in the land and maintain your integrity. Then you'll take delight in Yahweh, and He will answer your prayers. Commit your future to Yahweh. Trust in Him, and He will act on your behalf. He will vindicate you in broad daylight and publicly defend your cause, your just cause. Wait patiently for Yahweh. Wait confidently for Him. Do not fret over the apparent success of the sinner, a man who carries out wicked schemes. Do not be angry and frustrated, for do not fret that only leads to trouble. Wicked men will be wiped out, but those who rely on Yahweh are the ones who will possess the land. Okay, so the wicked is going to be wiped out. The wicked is going to be totally wiped out, okay? And we know who the wicked is, okay? Starting with the so-called white man. He's going down. It's going down, okay? Second Timothy. Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. But understand this, that in the last days difficult times will come, for their people will be lover of themselves, lover of money, boastful, arrogant, blasphemer, disobedient to parents, hateful and unholy, unloving, undesirable, slanders, without self-control, savage, opposed to what is good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, loving pleasures rather than loving power. They will maintain an outwards of religion, but will have repudiated its power. So avoid these people like this. Matthew 24, verse 24. This thing is definitely going down. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if it's possible, even to the elect. Okay, so it's not possible. Okay, you can't deceive the elect. Okay, it's not possible. They're the ones that's marked with Yahweh Shai seal. Okay, they're the ones they're of the flock. Okay, they understand the voice of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you can't deceive them. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Yahweh says, the leaders of my people are sure to be judged. They are supposed to watch over the people like shepherds watches over their flock, their sheep, but they are causing my people to be destroyed and scattered. So Yahweh power of Israel has this to say about the leaders who are ruling over his people. You have caused my people to be dispersed and driven to exile. You have not taken care of them. So I will punish you for your evil that you have done. I, Yahweh, affirmed it. Then I myself will regather those of my people who are still alive from the countries whether I have driven them. I will bring them back to their homeland. They will greatly increase in number, okay? And how this is able to happen? You got your invitation in the mail, okay? Don't be indifferent with your ways, okay? Come to the wedding banquet like Yahweh Shai gave you your invitation in the mail, okay? Come to the wedding banquet, okay? That's what this is about. Come to the wedding banquet. The book of Second Chronicles, chapter 30, verse 6. Messenger the letter from the king unto the official and throughout Israel and Judah, okay? You got your invitation through the mail, through this internet, okay? Come to the wedding banquets. Stop playing with your life, okay? When this thing comes to pass. Stop playing with your soul, okay? What's this about? The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10. You have slacked off in the day of trouble, your strength is small. Deliver those being taken away to death, and hold back those slipping to the slaughter. If you say, but we knew nothing about this, okay? How you don't know nothing about this? And this thing been on the internet ever since 2006, okay? And it's been circulated for almost 30 years, okay? You know what this is about, okay? So don't play dumb, okay? Stop playing with your life, okay? And come with Yahweh Shai, okay? While you have a window of opportunity, okay? And stop playing with your life, okay? Tell me what's this about. Let me know what this is all about, okay? When this thing comes to pass, okay? This thing is going down, okay? Let me know what this is all about when this thing comes to pass, okay? You know what this is about. Don't play dumb and stop playing with your life when this thing goes down, okay? Okay, this country's already ready for the mark of the beast, okay? They just were waiting for the opportune time to implement that demonic device, okay? But if you say you do nothing about this, that's verse 12. But if you say, but we knew nothing about this, Will not the one who evaluates your heart discern it? Will not the one who guards your life realize and will repay each person according to his deeds? Okay, so that's what this is. Okay. Will not he repay each person according to his deeds? Turn to the book of Colossians. I think it's a book of Colossians, or it could be the book of Philippians. Let's try the book of Philippians. Yeah, I'm looking for the scripture one moment. The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 25. For the one who does wrong will be repaid for his wrong, and there's no exception. Come clean with Yahweh Shai, okay? That's what this is about, okay? Seek Yahweh Shai while you still can, okay? Seek Almighty Yahweh Shai while you still can, okay? While the doors of mercy are still open, okay? Those doors are going to be shut, and when they shut, you're going to be catching straight hell, okay? Out, boom, okay? Instant panic sets in, okay? Like we discussed, urinate on yourself already, okay? That's what this is all about, okay? Seeking Yahweh Shai while you still can, okay? Learning the fear of Yahweh Shai. The book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 6. Seek Yahweh while he makes himself available. Call to him while he is nearby. The wicked need to abandon their lifestyles and the sinful people their plans. They should return unto Yahweh and he will show them mercy and to their power for he will freely forgive them. Okay, so that's what this is all about, okay? Seeking Yahweh Shai while you still can. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 29. But if you seek Yahweh your power, for there you will find him, if indeed you seek him with all your heart and souls. In your distress, when all these things has happened to you in future days, if you return to Yahweh your power and obey him, for he is a merciful power. He will not let you down nor destroy you. for he can not forget his covenant with your ancestors, that which he hath committed by oath to them. Okay, seek Yahweh Shai while you still can. Okay, what's this all about? Okay. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verse 1. Suppose a prophet or one who foretells by dreams should appear among you and show you a sign of wonder, and the sign of wonder should come to pass concerning what he said, namely, let us follow other gods whom have not previously known, and them let us serve them. You must not you must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer, for Yahweh your power will be testing you to see if you love him with all your mind and being. You must follow the Lord Yahweh with your power and reverence him only, him, and you must observe his commandments, obey him, serve him, and remain loyal to him. As for that prophet or dreamer, must be executed because he encouraged rebellion against Yahweh, your power, and who brought you from the land of Egypt, redeeming you from that place of slavery. And because what has tried to entice you from the way Yahweh, your power, has commanded you to go in just way, for you must purge evil from among you. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, this thing is going down. Okay, in 2026 could be the year. Okay, this thing is going down. Okay, and you don't want to let yourself caught up in the aftermath when this thing comes to pass. Okay, seek Yahweh Yahushua while you still can. Okay, while the doors of mercy are still open. Okay, seek Yahweh Yahushua with all your heart and soul, and being called upon him. Okay, so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, if you're concerned with you and your family and your loved ones. Okay, let's turn to the book of Acts. The book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 30. Then he brought them outside and asked, Sir, what must I do to be saved? Then they replied, Believe on Lord Yahweh Shai, and you will be saved, you and your households. Okay, so that's what this is. Okay, you and your household will be saved. Okay, so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, once again, this country's ready for the mark of the beast. Okay, you got your invitation in the mail. So come to the wedding banquet. Don't be indifferent in your ways. The book of Second Chronicles, chapter 30, verse 6. Messengers delivered the letter from the king to his official throughout of Israel and Judah. The royal edict read, O Israelites, return to Yahweh your power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, so he may return unto you, who also have been spared from the king of Assyria. Do not be like your fathers and brothers who were unfaithful to Yahweh, power of their ancestors, provoking him to destroy them, as you have seen. Now, don't be stubborn in your to your fathers. Submit to Yahweh and come to his sanctuary, which they have been permanently consecrated. Serve Yahweh your powers, so that he might relent from his rage and anger. For if you return to Yahweh your power, your brothers and sons will be shown mercy, and their captors, and will return to this land. Yahweh your power is a merciful and compassionate. He will not reject you if you to him. And I'll leave you on that note. So let's get you to close out scripture. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 16. As for your words came to me, I drank them in and was filled with my heart with joy and happiness, because I belong to you, O Yahweh, power of heavenly armies. I did not spend my time in the company of other people, laughing and having a good time. I stayed to myself because I felt obligated to you, and because I was filled with a great anger at what they have done. Why must I continue to suffer such pain and anguish? Why must I endure the stings of their insults like an incurable wound? Will you let me down when I need you? Like a brook one goes for water, but that cannot be relied on? Because of this, Yahweh said, you must repent of such words and thoughts. If you do, I will restore you to the privilege of serving me. If you say what is worthwhile instead of what is worthless, I will again allow you to be my spokesman. They must become as you have been. You must not become like them. I will make you as strong as a wall to these people, a fortified wall of bronze. They will attack you, but they will not be able to overcome you. For I will be with you to rescue you and deliver you, says Yahweh. I will deliver you from the power of the wicked. I will free you from the clutches of violent people. Hopefully you was well edified. I like to give all praises to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.